It's Kenlin, and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about how astrology can support you as a midwife, a shaman, a healer, a feminine leader, a visionary leader, a guide, someone who's here to midwife the change of an age, a priestess. That's what priestesses do. They come back during these liminal times of before and after and midwife a new civilization. And I love that because that gives us a lot of say, a lot of agency in how we're doing it, because we can't control events, but we know that when we add our frequency and an elevated frequency, we can manipulate, change, influence the outcome. That's what I believe. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm sharing. We've always been a part of cycles. From the beginning, we have noticed that light changes in a day, light changes in a season. We've noticed the stars and the constellation. Civilizations like the Mayans, the Burmese, the Indians, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, who understood the stars and sat with it, contemplated it, graphed it out mathematically, came up with theories so that they could understand the gods, the cosmos. And as we moderns, we understand the mystical axiom that so outside is inside. We now have the added layer of psychology that helps us interpret the intrapsychic drama that's going on outside as also the intrapsychic drama inside. And that helps us navigate as high priestesses, navigate the dark terrain. We have this lantern. So while our motives or our energy, our thoughts, our emotions can be influenced by these planets and also by ourselves and by others and by our conditioning, we can have something that cuts through, and that's astrology as a system. It cuts through and it shines the light on some energy and says, hey, focus here. Hey, get alongside this because this is what's happening. And then we can notice and take it inward and not use it like a predictive mechanism, because oftentimes when I've done that, I can only do that in hindsight, like, oh, that's what that meant. But it's difficult to predict what's going to happen next. Instead, we get more like the word foreshadowing. It shadows something. It's like an impressionistic painting saying, here's what this future might look like. And then as we get closer and we feel and we use our own bodies, we can feel more of that future. We embody that future in the present moment. So I'm going to talk about Gurdjieff and his notion of the planets. So he was a turn of the last century spiritual mystic and teacher, came out of the Semitic traditions like Iran and Turkey and Sufism. And he was a mystic. So his seeing of things was beyond dogma. He's very hard to understand, and I really appreciate those who interpret him well. But I'll read you some of what he said. He basically said that we on Earth are highly influenced by the energy of other planets, because he said the Earth is one of the small planets turning around the sun. And the mass of the Earth forms an almost negligible, very minute fraction compared to the whole mass of planets in the solar system. And so he said that because that's the case, the planets actually exert quite a lot of influence on Earth. That totally resonates with me. That's crazy. So all organisms, he said, even more than science could even ever imagine, because this is not just science, it's mysticism, like intertwining with geometry and the world in a new perspective. I'll say it that way. So he said the life of an individual, a person, or a collective, or humanity depends upon planetary influences in very many things. So in other words, if some planets get too close to each other, we act a little bit nuts. So that's a reason to understand the astrology of the day, the energy of the day, I like to interpret that energy, feel it in myself, and share it with you as a way of supporting you and being the shaman, of walking between the worlds, being the medicine woman, and discerning the difference between what is conditioned in you and what is original in you. And I think that's the other place astrology shines. That is in our natal charts, this snapshot of the planets at the moment of our birth presents this map of our destiny, of our trajectory. Pam Gregory says about it, it's like the music sheet. You know, there's a particular music that is yours, that all the arrangement of the planets are like arrangements of music. And even Gurdjieff talked about the planets as musical notes. That's a whole other thing that's incredible. And you're the one who sings the song. It's your vibration. So any piece of music, if you take a piece of music written by Mozart and you had different symphonies play them, they play them differently. And that's our template. We play it according to what is in our soul. So it's not like we're robots, even though we could feel like we're programmed like robots. Our job is to wake up. And astrology gives us this sense of a blueprint, this sense of a pathway, this sense of where are we struggling and where is our light and what are our superpowers. And a trained astrologer who's given readings for like 20, 30 years sees patterns. So they're not just learning something from a book. They've had bodies in front of them. Because one of the things Gurdjieff said at the end of that paragraph that I read was that the planets are alive. The planets are alive. They are energies. They are archetypal energies that exist, just like you here are alive in 3D. You have an archetypal energy that exists in 5D. So I want you to really understand that how you show up matters, how you play this game matters. And there's also written into the script oppositions, challenges, celebratory moments, like times when you're going to shine and your light is going to be at the peak, and times when you're going to descend and go into your darkness. The same with the collective, the same with humanity. So I hope that supports you on this journey, and I'll see you on the next video.